Let me be the first to tell you that you don't need a PhD to publish a book. But there's something else you definitely need, and you can't find it in a classroom. Hi, I'm Madeline Firestein, trained historian and criminologist. And this is how I got a nonfiction history book deal without a PhD. Oh, and I switched careers 4 years ago. I fell into academia's trap. You know it, you love it, you hate it. It's credentials. We were taught growing up that the more letters you have after your name, the more people will want to listen and take you seriously. And there's some truth to that, right? Like you hope your doctor is accredited and certified, and you hope your psychologist has the background to treat you, and you hope your child's daycare met the standards. But in history, we're not needing to deal with the Hippocratic Oath or needing to know CPR. I would love it if all historians had the benefit of a graduate degree, not for my sake, but for their own. Graduate degrees teach you essential research skills within this echo chamber of professors and experts to guide you along the way. Graduate degrees, however, are not determinants of your knowledge base or your worth. The definition of education is becoming more flexible in recent years, and it will continue to do so. Not everybody can afford to get a graduate degree, and instead, they must be self taught. I personally took out loans to get my master's degree, which I don't regret, but I'll be the first to admit it that I did have other options. I didn't have to get that degree, but I wanted it. Look, you know what you're talking about. You just have to put in the right research ethics and writing style to show the rest of the world that you do. Half the battle is, of course, believing in yourself. I spoke at length about this in my last video about finding the confidence to switch into the history career, and what to do with your old one, which I'll have linked in the description below. The world needs your voice. It's not enough anymore that we keep consuming the opinions and interpretations from a select group of people who are in the top echelon of academia. You think the way you do about your work right now because you're feeding into that vicious loop, and you only think that this select few has the right to publish. No one has copyright laws on a subject matter. Do you know how many books there are on Abraham Lincoln, Napoleon Bonaparte, in the Victorian era? And yet every year, new titles are being promoted. So stop using the excuse that whatever you're writing about has already been written about, and just write the darn thing. No one is keeping track. It's more important that you find the right publisher to get your work out there. I was fortunate enough to work with Arcadia Publishing, who specializes in local history. Since my first book centers around the Civil War history of my town, Alexandria, Virginia. Other publishers focus on other specialties. Like, for example, they publish a lot on the New Age and occult topics, regional histories, or specific genres like romanticy. Now, for nonfiction work, it's very helpful to have a literary agent if you're trying to present like the big names in the publishing world. Fiction proposals will almost always need a literary agent, but we're going to keep focusing on nonfiction here since fiction is not currently in my wheelhouse. Not yet, at least. Many new historians or people that never published a book before frequently ask me, what if they do not want to publish my book? Then they don't. That's it. And you move on. You find someone that does. J.K. Rowling and James Patterson both sent their manuscripts to over 20 different publishers before their first book was published. So, guess what? If you have a rejection, you're in good company. Some of the greatest authors and workers out there have faced immense rejection. And remember, even though you may not have the graduate training, it doesn't mean your work can't be written academically with independent flair. Your work still needs to be held up to the highest standards because you're still representing your subject matter at the end of the day, and we want your perspective to shine through ethically. The world of academia, education, and publishing is changing. Readers want new views and viewpoints, and publishers want new perspective and demographics to represent their company. If you don't send your work in for review, you are already deciding your own worth. For more advice and my own personal lived and learned experiences, make sure to subscribe to our channel and check out links to my other platforms in the description. Thanks for watching. Until next time.